Hello everyone, Dungeon Frog here, and today I want to show you a new idea, and that's a combination of two of my favorite skills. The one is Smite, and we are combining it with another strong AoE effect, and that's Shockwave support. So we are creating a character who stacks kind of like two different AoE abilities, which also do stack with themselves. So like the buff we get from Smite, the extra electric damage also buffs our shockwave damage. And want to show you just a quick showcase how it looks in a situation. This character is not like in the full end game, but it's more like a concept idea, and we're playing softcore, so it's pretty easy to get gear. And yeah, let's see how it looks. Like you can see the big AoE from the Smite and also the nice AoE from the Shockwave. You see, like, if you look well, that there is another explosion coming from the Shockwave, and it's pretty fun. Like, a lot of times we are playing a bit like a range character, because, like, we can stand there and just smite the ground. If you hold, like, shift in the default keys, then you can, like, attack the ground, and if something is in weapon range, smite will target it, and then it will proc the big explosion, and that's pretty nice and pretty useful. So, fun character. Um, I think it could be like for a super end game, it could need a bit more of defense and a bit more of offense. And I want to explain you a little bit about the character. With that, I will quickly show you the gear I'm using right now. With some nice gloves for some exposure. We need to get some strength from some items to actually use our set. And you see this on some of my items. Cooldown reduction. I'm not sure how much we really want, and because like the shockwave skill has a cooldown, and you can see it. Like I will just quickly here. You see the shockwave stacks, and probably should have chosen a map where it's easier to show it. But you see, we usually have our shockwave up most of the time. So the only time where we really are getting to know shockwave charges is like in a boss fight, where we can stand in a place and attack like 3-4 times in a row. Then it's the only time where it matters to have those cooldown reductions. And you see, it works, but I think it's not always working 100%. Like, I think if we hit on max range, then Shockwave does not proc, but I'm not still 100% sure how it works. We also have the Ancestral Call, the thing that you see all the time. It makes so that we attack a lot of more monsters, and that's like the main strength of this build. Before I talk more about the gear and how I built the character, because like the AoEs overlap, so we actually could hit something with our smite, hit something with our AoE effect of the smite, and if there are two enemies, we could hit them with two smite effects, and we also have a big shockwave, so we could stack also the AoE effects from the shockwave and from the smite. So yeah, other than this, it's also a pretty good character for party play, because like the smite is a big buff on our electric damage and of our friends. So that would increase our damage of our friends too, because like we are scaling the aura effect pretty heavily, and that's why we are also using our weapon as Frost Breath, and we mainly use it because it gives us some the ability to do double damage to chill targets, and we always chill them with our skitter bots. So we always do pretty much double damage, and because we are mainly using our damage from um, the Smite proc, we get a lot of damage through this. So other than that, we got some pretty interesting gear here, just some nice offensive gear, some extra damage, some extra power for our Smite, some nice powerful items. Our armor provides us a chance to power charge, so our crits are a bit better and more safe. And also, I got the additional curse. We can get this one pretty easily through the talent tree, but I also like to use it here so we can put some more points into defense and utility to have this armor. So yeah, we got Smite as our main skill, Shockwave. As you can saw, we support it with added lightning damage, volatility, elemental damage with attacks, and the pulverized support gem. We could, of course, use here for those two the awakened versions to even deal more damage, and we will later look at our POB, and there we see also the increased damage. Really interesting is the Stormfire ring. I hear it's not really expensive here in Trade League. So this one gives us a lot of damage because like our lightning damage can ignite and Smite has a pretty high chance to shock. So we can do some really nice ignite with this ring. Also another item which I find really cool and want to try on more builds is here the replica Dragonfang's Flight. It's nice overall stats, helping us with stacking of some auras, and it got +3 to 1 skill, and in this case we are using it to get a bigger smite. So it's a lot of fun, and I did anoint Blacksmith Cloud for some extra crit and damage. My flask setup is also not so great. You definitely should get remove freeze flask, probably switch here an instant bleed and get here a jade flask for some defense. But yeah, like this character is still not done, level 87, doing maps pretty fine so far. We have to care a bit sometimes, but overall it's pretty safe. Kind of playing sometimes, like I said, as a range character. And let's look at the PUB DB. I just will port out. We'll do probably this map later. So here you can see the stats. I use pretty much my gear, and we are fighting in this calculation Cyrus or any other Guardian Pinnacle boss. We have some points on, and this is a bit of a modified version than I'm running here, because like we are running the Ascendant, of course, and it's in this case we do use Radar as for the Forbidden Gem setup. Here, Forbidden Flame. You could exchange them, and that's what I'm running at the moment with some gems like this to get like the strength, some defense, some extra damage, some cooldown recovery for those two. But I think like for the cool idea, it's really cool if we would use those two. Watchers are also not really that important, but I would find it interesting for the energy shield leech, but yeah, it also does not matter that much. You also can run here in Murderous Eye, like I said, for this one. And other than this, it uses pretty much my setup. Because of the Radar passive, I have the Frenzy Charges node. We have pretty much always our full power charges set up thanks to our armor. We are also pretty much always fortified because of the champion proficiency, and we also use the Saboteur passive, which is really fun in this build, and one of the reasons why I wanted to try it. It helps with the cooldown reduction of the Shockwave, gives us extra area of effect for our Smite and our Shockwave. Nice to have pretty much the blind always on the enemies and chance to do a lot of extra damage. And with that, we have aura effect, and this scales also with our Smite aura. And one other thing which makes Smite leveling pretty okay-ish is like this thing on the Scion tree. We can go here early and getting leadership, and this gives us a lot of AoE for our Smite. You can see it because like we have Shockwave now here, and here you probably should see it. Does not show it. You should get AoE from this, but it does not show it. I'm not sure why. So usually it should increase the AoE, but maybe they fixed it. That would be a huge nerf. I think the node is still worth it, but forget what I said about this, because like those two reservation nodes we pick are pretty important for our damage. But maybe they did change it, because like in the past this did increase our AoE of the Smite area hit. Maybe that's not anymore. Let's just check it, because like I did already use that for some time. Where is the AoE? So I'm learning new things too. Oh yeah, we have Shockwave, because I'm like interested in the Shockwave always to look. So let's check it out. Yeah, here it's in. Interesting, it does not show in the tree here. Maybe because it does not really change the size. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, strange. POBDB, sometimes strange. Oh, we have a warning. My helmet does not have enough sockets. Yeah, I'm using the old version of the sockets with 3 sockets. In the link we are using 4, and yeah, you can easily get a 4th link on the helmet. And I'm not using Val Smite at the moment, and we could use it. Like enabling Val Smite would increase our damage by a lot. Like if you see here the full DPS, which is with our totems, Val Smite and the Shockwave, because like, and Smite. And you have to think we can like stack the melee attack, which is not here in it. Like we can stack this one with the area hit if we hit like 2 targets. So there is a lot of damage potential in those situations where we can do decent damage. We have a kind of decent HP pool. Like you can see, my equipment is a bit heavy on fire resist, so you could optimize this to get like those resists higher, and then our effective HP would be way higher. We are using like a lot of different auras and aura effects. Ancestral Cry, like I said, to get some defenses. We have a double curse set up. Probably want to use it like either in a ring or like in casting totem, because like manual casting is a bit annoying, casting 2 curses. But usually you're just fine casting conductivity on the target. And yeah, we get some crit nodes, we get some aura nodes, get some defense. Get this node is really important for our damage. Get some jewel sockets here, the Leauge, which is also super important, some AoE, and later you can get some power charges, which are nice, and get the rest of the jewels. We need some accuracy, either through gear or through this line. It's kind of important to fix our accuracy. And yeah, so yeah, I don't have something for corrupting blood, so I'm taking this mastery. It's also really nice to get some extra chaos resist, because my gear does not provide it so far in a big way. So we get this one here. And yeah, try to get some strength through your gear, and try to hit multiple enemies as you play. And yeah, like pathing, you go pretty much here, takes the life node here, and go here. You kind of want to rush the Leauge mastery here first, because like, yeah, go like this, Leauge mastery. So then you can remove the mana flask, and you're pretty safe at this point. I think I then went there for the arcing blows and some conversion to make our skills better scaling. then grab probably the aura nodes. Then I went here to grab this, get some resist here, and then I maxed like the other stuff, like getting some damage, getting some resistances, and then I went here for extra defense. And yeah, in the late game, which I don't have now, getting like here those, I'm now on the way, getting those nodes. This thing is also not bad, especially if you have a way to even increase getting more power charges for damage. If you will use the PUBDB, you could experiment with good jewel. There are definitely some possibilities here with the lightning damage, which could be really interesting if you get more attack speed. But I kind of like the problem is with too much attack speed is that we can't. So like because Shockwave has a cooldown, the more attack speed we have, the harder it's kind of to trigger the Shockwave constantly. So that's why we also use Pulverize to lower our attack speed, but also attack speed does add a lot of damage. So like this is an interesting trade-off, and I'm not sure where the right spot is right now, but I think it's like a really fun spec, and it has like a lot of build potential. It's cool, like stacking those area effects is fun, and I think it's definitely better if you have some gear to start with it. It's an okay starter if you don't have gear, but the single target might be rough at some points. Smite on itself is not such a good scaling skill, because like often you combine it with another single target hitting skill, but I don't like this playstyle that much. So yeah, so having gear helps with that a lot, because then we can just focus on Smite and Shockwave and have fun with that. And yeah, that's the build so far. There's definitely some potential and some endgame to discover. I would be really interested to see your ideas and input to this build, and I will continue play it a bit more, and let's see what other builds we will find. So thank you for watching. If you did like the build idea and want to see other build ideas in PoE or other ARPGs, then yeah, I would be happy if you leave a like or subscribe here, and comment here would be really nice, and I hope I see you soon. Goodbye.